As if they don't have too much on their plates. The Kings of Combat Sports Podcast, John and Wade. They talk about the things they did that day. The land and let the work of Triple H. Rewind to SmackDown. 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 Rewind to SmackDown.
We are here to chat about 80 minutes of SmackDown that was dropped for Netflix viewers internationally and all of you on the USA Network, sitting through a more condensed version of the show as we slashed an hour. And did you get a chance to see any of Resident Alien tonight, Way?
No, is that what followed on
Well,
USA?
it's still airing as we speak right now. So
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, I was watching on Netflix, so I might have to seek that out after. I kind of know the answer to this, but like, did you feel like the 2-hour experience was lacking anything that you might have enjoyed about the 3-hour experience?
I wouldn't say this was like a great episode of SmackDown. And I know that there is going to be the argument, well, now that you've lost an hour, you're not going to be able to focus on all these people. 2 hours is a significant amount of time. And that is on the show's structure. And there is no way you can tell me that what I see fit into a 2-hour Dynamite, that I'm not saying WWE has to pace their shows to that degree, right, but you have 4.5 hours of original television between Raw and SmackDown on a weekly basis. And you cannot, like, if you cannot find the time for certain performers, you are not at the ability to blame it on the lack of a third hour. Wrestling did this for years before we had 3-hour shows.
How about the length of match? I wasn't timing the matches tonight, but were they of a different... well, we also got it with the commercial breaks, so like they were kind of chopped off. But anyway, did you notice any difference in the quality of the wrestling?
I thought there was one really good match on the show, and the rest was kind of just... It didn't stand out to me, positive or negative. It felt like similar lengths overall.
Okay, so no difference.
We also had 2 big talking segments as well to start the show, and then with Tiffany Stratton as well, and that's going to eat up a lot of time.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I wonder if like this episode would have been the best to really judge up against, your typical 3-hour edition of the show, just given maybe a reduced roster and also just maybe a bit less importance given it was just like this sort of tape show. But I overall thought it was like a perfectly fine experience. I wouldn't say this was a great SmackDown. Not to say like a 3-hour show is usually a great SmackDown, but I was satisfied enough by the end of it too,
Before we get into SmackDown, I do want to make mention of the fact that Way and I have dropped our F1 movie review. That is up for all members at postwrestlingcafe.com. We go through the film that just came out last weekend, our thoughts on Brad Pitt in the lead role, how authentic the movie came across for F1 connoisseurs, how it's done at the box office, and both our praise and critiques of the film. We had many talking points from F1 the movie. So that's up on the Café. Also dropping today is the new edition of Post Pro Res with WH Park and Karen Peterson, going over news from across all the companies in Japan, including Zack Sabre Jr. regaining the IWGP World Heavyweight title, Sarai winning the IWGP Women's title from Shuri in a phenomenal match, and going through the G1 and talking about all the big news from all the promotions across Japan. So that's up. And Karen will be back on Sunday with Bruce Lord. They're going to do an update on the latest New Japan shows, including the New Japan Soul event that will happen on Sunday, where we will get the final member of the G1, because Hirooki Goto is out of the tournament, and they will do a gauntlet match involving Chase Owens, Satoshi Kojima, Taichi, and Tomohiro Ishii to determine who will take his spot. Karen and Bruce will have a coverage of the Soul Tour Tanahashi Jam that's coming out Sunday for everybody.
All of those shows are exclusive for Post Wrestling Cafe patrons. In addition, we can announce that Rich Fan and WH Park of MCU Later, they just reviewed the latest edition of Ironheart. They will also be back in a few weeks. Okay, on the 15th, just announced here, or actually just announced a bit earlier this week. DCU later talking about Superman. So that's a late addition to the Post Wrestling Cafe schedule. You can get all of that just for $6 a month, in addition to the XL edition of this particular podcast, where John and I just spent about half an hour talking about the day's top stories.
Yes, we went over Goto being out of the G1, Donald Trump wanting to host a UFC event at the White House next year, which is a real story, and plenty of other stories as well, including Slammiversary shaping up, Dynamite ratings from Wednesday night for the 300th episode. All of that can be found on the XL edition. $6 gets you 30 days access, including the start of our G1 coverage, which begins July 19th and 20th, with shows covering every single tournament match, including the road to Wrestle Kingdom that Chase Owens could be kicking off on Sunday.
Don't threaten me.
Probably not. Tonight, we are talking about a taped edition of SmackDown that was done Monday night at the PPG Paints Arena in Pittsburgh. And before we go into the arena, Jacob Fatu attacks the now former Bloodline. We will get a name later on, as they are arriving at the building, and Nick Aldis has to step in to stop Jacob Fatu, and this would be the focus of the main event later. But out to speak, it's Cody Rhodes with his crown. So we got at least one TV so far with the crown. How many more times do we see these crowns after tonight?
I don't think they'll appear after this week.
This was it?
I think that's it. Yeah.
It was a little awkward for him to just hold this. He wasn't going to wear the crown, so.
Well, the thing is, like, these crowns are enormous. Like, I don't think they're actually made to be worn, although he did put it on briefly, actually. I can bring up the photo here. He put it on briefly at Night of Champions itself, and it looked ridiculous. Like, they're not really shaped for a human head. Like, they really just look like they're supposed to be trophies.
It looked better on Jade than it did Cody. Cody looks like he's at his bachelor party.
Can anybody look cool with a crown other than, Biggie Smalls?
WH.
WH? You see WH on a crown?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
So if you didn't know it was a tape show, we also had a fan that was wishing Cody a happy birthday, which it was on Monday, but was not tonight. So Cody joining the
America's birthday is Cody's birthday.
That's right. The
Guile.
Guile. Yes.
Yeah, the new Guile.
Yeah, there were some hilarious like AI generated images of Cody as Guile with the Guile flat top hair.
I can't wait. I can't wait for this movie.
Cody and Roman Reigns are both in this film, and so is Andrew Schultz this is a wild cast, dude. Jason Momoa's in this. You found it.
This AI image of Cody as Guile is amazing. Oh my god.
Dude, the original movie, the 94 Van Damme one, I probably saw that 4 times at the theater. That movie. And it's not a good movie, but man, I went repeatedly.
It's not a good movie. It's a great movie. Okay. And this movie, I think, looks to top it with the cast that it's got.
Okay. Well, we will make a return to the movies whenever this film sees the light of day, which I don't know if it will. I don't know.
I don't know if it'll make the theaters.
Is there any chance?
Straight to streaming.
Could we have a what was it? A Batgirl situation where they just decide it's better to just shelve
the
this
movie
thing?
is so bad that they never release it.
It's more valuable for us for you not to have the chance to pay tickets to see this. So Cody, first of all, he has this wristband on, and he mentions this kid Cam who is fighting leukemia, and got a big response from the crowd. But when he did this, I thought of that line he gave at that Fanatics interview. He's like, "I might be at the tail end of my heel run." I'll disagree. I don't think this guy is near the tail end of his heel run. Okay, they love this guy. Let's not mess with this.
Yeah, I think they might flirt with the idea, especially if Dwayne's involved and you want to do the soul storyline. But I mean, there's still a lot to like.
I'm sorry, Dwayne's instincts in creative have not sold me this year.
We're only on the third step of 100 steps, John. All right.
You know what I was thinking about the other day when it comes to our pal Dwayne?
What's that?
The Instagram post with the New Japan shirt, and he had the what's it called? The Rubik's Cube.
Okay. What about it?
This meant nothing. This meant absolutely nothing. And don't tell me that
nothing yet, John. Okay, the fifth step of 30,000 steps to come. Okay.
Maybe he was thinking, we have Chase Owens, part of the A block.
He's secretly booking the G1, maybe.
Yes. And then he comes to WWE as the secret brother of Kevin. and this is Dwayne's long-term plan.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Cody then goes on to state that the crown represents where he's been and where he's going, to the main event of SummerSlam to face John Cena. And he is interrupted by Randall, who comes out and he states how he hesitated to kick Cody's head off his shoulders. But Cody, you didn't hesitate. You pulled the trigger. For that, I respect you. But promise me you won't squander this opportunity and go kick Cena's ass. And then the returning Drew McIntyre comes out, and man, he's got new merch. Bored at work.
Yes, referencing his famous tweet.
With this, what would have sold better? This shirt or the selfie photo he took at WrestleMania?
Oh, the selfie photo, I think. I mean, I don't know. I guess bored at work, it might be a shirt you'd be able to wear. I guess if you don't want everybody to know that it's a wrestling shirt. Yeah, I don't know.
I came this close today. I will let everyone in on this because I'm not doing this. I'm not dropping this money. I almost bought you the MJF pickle shirt today. I was just going to have it delivered to you. Dude,
I would have been offended.
It was stupid. Like I would have had to drop $45 US on this for shipping to Canada. I was like, this is not funny enough.
Is the MJF pickle shirt subject to tariffs?
It might be. It was like $15 shipping to Canada. US.
Okay. So we might have to talk to Scrump about that.
Yeah. So Drew states that he mocks the two. You hang up. No, you hang up. Both of you can shut up. You're pathetic. What's with all this beta male energy taking over WWE? Well, the alpha has returned.
Oh,
nice. Waiting for Jericho to come out here.
Yeah.
He says Orton lost the psychological battle before Night of Champions as Cody had buttered him up for months and then stuck a knife in his back like a politician. And yes, I said back, which Cody targeted like a shark smelling blood. And Orton, you couldn't kick him. The legend of Randy Orton is dead. And he even brought up their feud from 5 years ago when Orton was punting Flair's head off its shoulders. And Drew wants Cody to win at SummerSlam because I want to take the belt from you. This match has been 20 years in the making. I wasn't aware of this.
Let's do the
2005. Math. Remember when we were talking about this as a dream match when Cody was in OVW? And Drew wasn't even signed yet?
Oh, so where did 20 years come from? Is he just rounding up? He's
rounding up, yeah.
Okay. All right, whatever. It sounds fine.
So Drew is hoping that Cody wins and then says, I won't hesitate like somebody. And as Drew turns around, he eats the RKO. Orton then gives Cody a look and leaves. And Randy really dialed up the confusion and conflict. What have I become? Am I still the old Randy? And we will find out if the old Randy is going to show up at Saturday night's main event when he faces Drew.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I'd say for a return after I would say it's like a decently
month and a half
of layoff for Drew, a layoff where I kind of expected him to come back with a bit of a babyface push after the Damian Priest match, but clearly that maybe I completely misread that. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about injecting him into this Randy Orton feud because I wonder who's going to win this one. I think they're both in need of a win. Orton after losing to Cody at Night of Champions, and Drew, I think, after losing the feud to Priest. Both of them are kind of due for something. So, also this felt like a little rush to me in that, I think you would have wanted Drew to come back looking a little bit more sort of like dominant, in some way. But here he essentially came in, made fun of these guys, and then ate an RKO. But I understand why they needed to rush it because the Saturday night's main event is happening very shortly.
It also could just be step one at Saturday night's main event. Right. So Saturday night's main event will happen, and then it's 3 weeks until SummerSlam. So it's not like you have this crazy turnaround either that these two, you could, extend this, add people to the mix, whatever. Drew is then backstage and meets with Aldis. This is where the match is made for Saturday night's main event. And then Drew turns around, spotting Jacob Fatu, and they don't share any words. They just walk off. So a lot of stuff to keep track of here.
There were also a lot of tensions teased between Orton and Cody at the end of Night of Champions. They clearly they're shelving that aside for now.
Kind of. At the end of this, they did show Orton kind of at, trying to convey, something that maybe they'll revisit at a future date.
Well, with all the teases here between like Cody and Drew and still Cody and Orton, does it should we expect Cody to be beating Cena? Like, are there more match possibilities as a result of Cody being champion than there are Cena right now? It feels like they haven't really done. There's still a lot for Cena to do, too.
Yeah. He's got, I think he has like 15 dates left is the amount. You get by SummerSlam. Like, he is advertised for Clash in Paris. He's advertised for the show in Perth, whatever it's called, Crown Jewel, and Survivor Series as well. And he stated outright his last match is mid-December. So those are like the big shows he has left on top of TV.
And what would you say are the big sort of the baby face matches that Cena could be facing? Like, who are the baby faces that still need to face Cena that you think would be a part of that list? Roman, I think. No, you don't think that?
Yeah, I guess Roman is probably.
They could still do the match as a double babyface match.
Yeah, they could. Yeah, if they want. Yeah, Roman. Like, it's not a long list, to be honest. Like, of who you're trying to fill this out with, and it all comes down to, like, where do you want Cena to be? Are you holding off on him? Like, do you want him going into that last match as a babyface? Probably, right?
I think after SummerSlam, he's going to turn it back to being a babyface.
And the audience might want to turn him at that point. I mean, it is, you do get that sense from TV of, like, the audience, like, slowly turning, which is probably to the benefit of this Cena run.
Yeah.
Then Aldis tells Jacob Fatu he can find a partner tonight and face 2 members of the Bloodline. And Jimmy Uso just pops up out of nowhere to volunteer. He just wants to get booked. And are you ready to get in where you fit in? Jimmy's like, whatever it takes to get into this match, I'm there to fit in.
I'm not doing anything else. Yeah.
Alba Fire and Piper Niven would take on B-Fab and Michin and Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. And we had this backstage segment where Aldis met with Charlotte. My God. Some of the acting here was tremendous. Aldis informed Charlotte that she had a title opportunity, and Charlotte assumed that Stratton was going to pick her to face at Evolution. Aldis informs her, yeah, probably not. This is an opportunity for the tag titles where you would be in a 3-way tonight with your partner, and we just pan, and neither of Charlotte or Nick realized Alexa Bliss was standing here the whole time. So I thought Charlotte would have been able to piece all this together by spotting her in her peripheral vision. But
if this was realistic, I think we'd have to wait like 30, 40 seconds for the people to actually walk from across the hallway into frame.
I would love to watch a backstage segment like that was done like realistic time of when someone would like pop up and know to be there. So Bliss clarifies, I don't want to be your friend, but we should be partners. Flair says, well, I don't like to share the spotlight. And Bliss says, well, I hate to inform you, but you haven't been in the spotlight for a while.
Yeah. No, this was painful. Listen, I don't expect good acting when I'm watching pro wrestling. I would almost say like this was typical pro wrestling acting.
Dude, I'm in the midst of watching The Bear, okay? You could not have more of a contrast of, a group of people in Chicago screaming and crying for 30 minutes at length, and then I go to this.
I mean, we should simply not be comparing like an Emmy award-winning show to like the acting of a pro wrestling. You can compare a porno like at level acting to this, like or like high school drama acting to this.
Hey man, Carm came over and played Kerry Von Erich, so I expect someone to reciprocate. Okay.
Well, listen, this has not been good, and maybe it's more so my feelings towards this feud, or sorry, I should say this partnership. Like I just don't think it works, because like there's just no real tension that the audience is sensing between the two of them. Like if this was Becky and Charlotte, I think it would absolutely be much better because we know that these two, or at least we can assume that there's at least at one point there might have been real heat between the two. That belt exchange segment is now legendary. We could have bought into that. I don't recall really anything on screen or even off screen that would suggest any sort of like difficulty in Alexa and Charlotte being friends. So this kind of constant like push pull, I don't think it's just working at all. And not to mention, it's just not being done at a very sort of high level.
Well, the match is Charlotte and Alexa against Alba Fire and Piper Niven and B-Fab and Michin. And we got promotion for Heads of State, the John Cena movie, and Superman.
Superman all over professional wrestling. They're not tribalistic. They'll, advertise on any show.
Yes, the Forbidden Ad campaign. Niven knocks Flair off the apron as Michin dives onto Flair and Bliss, and then Niven's off the edge with a cannonball. Michin hit a series of kicks, and then there's, it was B-Fab, I think. And then Flair starts chopping her away, goes for the figure four. It's stopped, and she gets knocked into Alexa, and this constitutes a tag. Fire then catches Michin with a destroyer, and we get a black hole slam by Piper Niven onto B-Fab. Flair spears Niven, lands a moonsault onto both Niven and Fire, but before she does this, she pats Alexa on the head. And then as she goes for the cover, she doesn't realize that by patting Alexa on the head, this was a tag. So as she gets up, she drills Chelsea Green off the apron, turns around, and Alexa has hit Twisted Bliss and has won the match for her team, much to the chagrin of Charlotte. And then the two stood here and they playfully shoved each other. And Charlotte is slowly being won over by Alexa Bliss just in time for this match at Evolution.
Charlotte, for some reason, like went in for like a very big hug, and I don't know if it was like meant to be sarcastic, but it was kind of hard to read. And I think
I wrote insincere hug. That's how I took it, but you wouldn't have quite known it. But by the end, she's smiling at her. She was like, it almost felt like, okay, we're fine.
Well, like so much of this feels like it's just like wink, wink. Like we have to pretend we're not really friends, but we are friends. Backstage, we're besties backstage, and it's kind of robbing this of like what little tension that I think they were able to create anyway. I just think it's been poor in construction and poor in execution, but. I'm kind of curious to see what they look like as a further tag team once they get past all of this. Like, can they get along? Bullshit.
They could win the belts. They could win these belts at Evolution.
Fine, sure. I hated this finish, like the patting on the head to create
a tag. It's a tag. This is Ole and Gene Anderson used to do that all the time.
Dumb.
All this is with the entire, not the entire tag division because it's growing by the week. And he's upset over all of them getting involved last week. DIY states we weren't ready for our match with Phoenix and Andrade, but Fraxiom couldn't have done any better. So Fraxiom is booked in a match against Phoenix and Andrade for later. And then Aldis suggests that each of you can pick a member of your team to take on the Wyatt Six in an 8-man tag. And if the Wyatts win this 8-man tag, they'll be in contention for a tag title shot. And my reaction was the same as Axiom's.
So listen, the SmackDown tag division, especially in comparison to the Raw's tag division, is light years ahead. They're developing, I think, just a great roster and like framework, of teams that you want to cheer for. But that's been entirely achieved by the in-ring quality, okay? Not by these pretty awful backstage segments. Like I just think they've all been bad. And the idea that like the tag division has to convene every single week, at in the principal's office to be like lectured and to
who also
to
towers
argue.
over these guys, save for the Street Profits.
I just like it's so hard to take them seriously, Like
Yeah.
I love the matches. I think the matches are great, but these segments I think make it look very unserious.
Yeah, I don't understand how this is so imbalanced that we talk about Raw where it's like the 2-division team. We have 4 teams in the shot here. The Wyatts make 5. Then we've got Andrade and Phoenix. They're basically saying are a team now as well. Plus you had the Garzas who are not here. Like, dude, we have a 7-team division versus like one of these teams could do wonders for this Raw division that the New Day just floundered because they had nobody.
Well, going back to our conversation, I do truly feel like the 3 hours like really benefited the tag division. They especially like in giving them time to wrestle their matches, right? Raw is 2.5 hours, so maybe like they shouldn't be lacking that far behind. But clearly, Raw has other priorities than the tag division.
So it is Montez Ford, Berto, Sabin, and Gargano against all four of the Wyatt Sixth. And they mentioned the history between Gargano and Dexter Loomis. I'm glad we were able to call back to this.
That was neat.
Yeah.
But wait.
Loomis attacks him. He's not nostalgic. They work together to clear the Wyatts from the ring. Ford gets caught off the apron, sent into a super kick by Loomis, and they get the advantage on Ford, who eventually tags Sabin. Ford hits a Tope Con Hero, and then Sabin is in control until Uncle Howdy leans upside down from the corner, and Sabin's eyes were the funniest thing on this entire show. He had like the big bug-eyed look, like, oh my God, he's upside down. And he gets stunned as a result of this, but manages a tornado DDT to Eric Rowan. Gargano has his arm reached, and as Sabin crawls, Gargano thinks twice about being tagged in and hops to the floor, leaving Sabin to be destroyed by Rowan, who wins with the Iron Claw Slam.
Yes. Yeah.
There we go.
It's his move.
Yeah, man. So
yeah. So I think it's very clear from watching this match that like well, the Wyatt Six are much more intimidating as a 4-person group than simply Loomis and Gacy as a tag team. I'd say like both instances we saw of Gacy and Loomis strictly as a tag team. I don't think they've been able to manage the sort of like threatening appeal that like this sort of spooky group, should have. I really do think like the key to the Wyatt Six working lies in, well, Bo's promos, the presentation of the group as a unit, but in ring, predominantly Eric Rowan, who is by far the most compelling person to watch.
He's the
matches.
Kobashi of the Wyatts.
Yeah, he truly is.
Yeah, I mean, does have the Noah pedigree as well.
So. Oh, does he? I didn't realize. So I mean, what it looks like from the graphic, it's Gacy and Loomis going for the championship. I guess I don't expect them to win.
Yeah, they got a tag title shot out of this 8-man tag, of which Ford was 1/8 of this match.
A win's
Ford
a win.
Dawkins just gets thrown into this. I mean, he had no say in all of this. So yeah, this is our setup for the tag title match next week, which will be live. So all eyes will be on the Wyatts.
Yeah. But I hope they have a good match, Gacy and Loomis. But I do ultimately think like they might be saving up,
Rowan should absolutely, like, Rowan and Gacy to me would be
not Rowan and Dallas.
I think Gacy is. I mean, you can have your pick. I would go with Gacy and Rowan myself. Okay. Julia Vignette, she did not get this title by luck, but with power. And then she explains, blue flames don't flicker. They burn everything down and will take this title where no one else has dared to, and you'll feel the heat of beautiful madness.
Mm-hmm. So we got one on Monday. We got one on Friday, right? 2 different videos. Julia.
We did, yes. This was quite the 4th of July celebration for our U.S. champion. No mercy, no doubt, no fear.
She got the week off, which was nice for her. Happy 4th. Her first 4th of July, I imagine, in America.
You would be correct, yeah.
Yeah. I think she's coming across really well in these videos. When she speaks in her native tongue is when you get the feel of her full charisma and personality. She sounds confident. She sounds believable. And like even in the second video, she's ramping up the amount of English she's speaking, which is great for her continued improvement so that someday maybe that charisma can come through in her English speaking as well. So I've enjoyed these.
Tiffany Stratton came out and she was the last woman standing against Nia Jax. She's focused on Jade at SummerSlam, but just like Io, she has also been given the chance to pick her opponent for Evolution. And Jade interrupts, has her crown. She respects Tiffany, but if you make the wrong choice, you're not even going to make it to SummerSlam. But it doesn't matter. I'm leaving with the title anyway. So Stratton then brings out Trish Stratus. And Trish comes out. She happens to be in Pittsburgh. And Tiffany mentions how they teamed at Elimination Chamber. And she is offering Trish the title match. And Trish responds, wow, I did not expect that. It's like, why is she here?
Well, maybe
was she just summoned to, like, we have a surprise for you in Pittsburgh?
Maybe Stratton's just like, hey, I got a surprise for you. Okay. You might want to show up.
Well, she was asked on the spot here, and Trish says that Evolution means a lot because we used to have to fight to get one match on a card, and now we have our own show, and she's grateful for Tiffany because she's about creating moments. And she got to create one wrestling in front of her kids at Elimination Chamber, but my kids never got to see me become champion. So she is going for her 8th title. And Stratton says, this isn't going to be easy, Trish. It's not the Attitude Era anymore. We were that close to getting. It's 2025. It's not 1999 anymore.
Yeah. Leon Slater wasn't even born. I guess. When was Leon Slater born?
Who, Leon Slater? Dude, he was not born by 99. He was born in like 2000 or 2005. If he's turning 20? I think he turns 20 in. He's either 20.
Dude, when was Tiffany Stratton born?
98, I think.
1999.
99. Jesus.
So, I feel like we played this game before with the team of Stratton and Trish. It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. So Tiffy reminds everyone that WWE runs on Tiffy time. And there we have it. Tiffany Stratton against Trish Stratus at Evolution. Winner faces Jade Cargill.
Well, when I think about that, like what's shocking about that age difference is the way Trish Stratus looks. I mean, like somehow she's been able to look younger upon like these several returns. So I guess yoga is really that effective.
Do you know next year is the 20th anniversary of her retirement match in Toronto?
It's fucking insane. Yeah. Again, we should be doing more stretching, clearly. I think that like for a PLE called Evolution, I think having Trish on the show is a good representation of an older era, you know, especially somebody who looks like she just stepped out of a time machine in Trish Stratus. She's a big enough name and I sense this show might be kind of done to appeal to like people that might not have checked in with wrestling in some years. So I will say though, I do think like having Stratton challenge somebody who's been so inactive kind of makes Stratton look like she's picking an easy opponent, you know. Like if I could have had a preference, it would have been to see Trish in a bit more of a lead up to this moment, so that this choice would have made a bit more sense. Maybe even have Trish turn on Stratton in the lead up to this, so that Stratton would be making the challenge with a bit more heat attached to it.
Well, if you remember last year when they did Money in the Bank in Toronto, they had Trish as the guest and Tiffany was still the heel, and they did the whole deal between them where you thought a match was coming out of it. And then you fast forward and they were just their buddies going into Elimination Chamber. So they had set this up a year ago, but just discarded that part of their history. I agree with you. Like a lot of this Evolution show just feels like they're throwing everything together. There's not a whole lot of build for these types of matches. And in this one, like, I don't think there's anyone that is expecting anything except Tiffany Stratton facing Jade at SummerSlam.
You might get a cash-in tease.
You could do a cash-in tease as well. And more to come with Jade, who will be on this Evolution show. Solo Sikoa does a taped video with JC Mateo. This guy is great in these background scenes. He looks so much more menacing in these than he does out in the arena setting. And he's also got the returning Tonga Loa behind him. He wishes everyone a happy birthday on Independence Day as the new champion and welcomes in the newest member, Tala Tonga.
Yeah, they went with it.
Oh, man.
Yeah, no, it's
this
official.
Is the shirt. This is the poster. He says, this is nothing like the Bloodline. It's more stronger. It's more dangerous. And Sikoa and JC have got the match tonight with Jacob Fatu. These are my MFTs. And I had to rewind because I thought he called them his NFTs. I was like, I don't think those are even things anymore.
They're each for sale. Yeah.
Yeah.
You could buy Tonga. I would buy a Tongaloa like right now.
Yeah. This is my blockchain. His MFTs, my family tree. And his family is complete, as I could sense the tear rolling down Tama Tonga's cheek.
Yeah, what the hell? First of all, MFT is not a new phrase from Solo Sikoa.
He used it a year ago. But I don't think he ever gave it a definition, did he?
He used it on Tama Tonga, actually. He said, this is my MFT, right?
Yeah.
And I think it was suspected by the audience that it would stand for something like my family tree. I was like,
I don't think he ever outright said it.
No, he confirmed that here. And I don't know how I feel about like the actual acronym. Like MFT sounds cool enough, sure. but my family tree kind of sounds like a kid's school project. This is my in grade graduating school project. But whatever. At least we have a name for a stable, which is nice.
Jade meets with Trish backstage. This was so weird. Jade goes up to her and says, I'm going to see you at SummerSlam after winning the title. And Jade says, I'll see you there. It's like, we just were in the ring. They just established all of this. This was almost like, in case you missed the last segment, here's our tease. This was our big conflict to set up this match that no one's expecting for SummerSlam.
Yeah. I guess Levesque likes to do these backstage interactions to just like throw people off into thinking that another possibility may occur. But yeah, this one felt oddly disconnected from the interaction these two just had.
And as Trish leaves, Naomi attacks Jade with the briefcase from behind and says, Wai's favorite, you should have proceeded with caution. And she laughs maniacally. Aldis, who's just in every scene backstage tonight, comes to check on Jade. And Jade says, I want Naomi. And Wai, we have got our 6th match for Evolution.
6 matches.
And
wow,
I think we're going to get the Becky match as well, the triple threat. So I think we're getting 7 at Evolution. That's my thought.
7 matches? We still got a Nikki Bella match. Potentially.
Maybe. I don't think we're getting a Nikki Bella match unless she's in that battle royal. Like, they've done nothing. There's no hint of it. And who's left at this point?
Is there a battle royal?
Yes. Yeah. The battle royal they announced on Monday with Pearson Aldis announcing it. The winner gets the title shot.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, I could definitely see her that.
That's the one where you could throw in some like names from the past or just anybody. Like maybe Nikki's thrown into a battle royal, but it's I don't see Nikki getting a match at this point.
Yeah. So just back to this. So first of all, we have a proceed with caution.
Yes,
money in the bank.
They finally got around to decorating Rollins and Naomi's briefcases this week. A lot more thought put into Naomi's.
Yeah, we have a custom. Listen, like,
who would buy this?
She's got. You'd be surprised, buddy.
Yeah, I know. I'm answering my own question.
She's got like proceed with caution everything. She got like a proceed with caution shirt. Like I'm sure pants.
No. Proceed with cuidado.
Well, listen, you got to appeal to. They're trying to get into the Mexican market, okay? You need caution tape in all languages. She's taken this heel turn in a far more cartoonish direction than I expected, and
she's way too entertaining for this.
Well,
role.
listen, I was gonna say I don't love it, but it's so over the top now that I am really learning to embrace it, and it's really growing on me.
Hey,
like,
if the audience turns them, fine. I think honestly, at this point, these two would probably be better suited in opposite roles now.
So that's the other interesting thing is like Jade versus Stratton. They're both baby faces. Okay. We already saw it with that sort of dynamic in Saudi Arabia. Granted, like the audience was picking Asuka over Jade. What would happen with the Stratton versus Jade? Is it time to turn Jade? But
it might be. I could see
that means you're turning Naomi as well.
Yeah, which I don't think is the worst idea.
Yeah. Can you do a double turn with the two of them? How would they execute that?
Well, regardless of how fans feel, like a Naomi cash-in, it's going to be met with total positivity. Like it's just the cash-in nature of it. But Naomi's also a character that
Naomi cashes in on Stratton, and
she could do it on either. Yeah,
you get Stratton, Naomi.
Fraxiom against
sorry, Naomi and Jade.
Fraxiom took on Andrade and Rey Fenix. This was a great match. They explained that Andrade and Rey Fenix, they've teamed up a few times now, and they basically just said, like, let's team up. So this is...
We're not doing anything. We're
not doing anything else, so might as well get some TV time together. And they had two great opponents here. We had Tope Suicidas over and over by Fraxiom on opposite ends, and they're working over Phoenix until he makes the tag. Andrade's in with the three amigos, and Phoenix follows with a frog splash. Fraser kicks out, and then it's Fraser coming back. They do the super kick brainbuster combo onto Phoenix. Andrade's in for the saves, and they had some great saves here. Fraser misses a Phoenix splash, and Phoenix does a backflip to get behind Fraser. Almost didn't make it, but then hits the release German, and there's a Spanish fly Phoenix splash combo to Andrade. Phoenix makes the save, executing a code breaker to Axiom and coming down to crash on top of them to break the fall. So the crowd was cheering this. We have an adios amigo kick to Axiom. Phoenix dives, and it leads to Andrade hitting the message to pin Fraser and get the pin. So we have the first The first time that Fraxium have lost on SmackDown, according to Joe Tessitore. Don't know what the record is in Ring of Honor, but it can't be worse than Blake Christian's.
Awesome match, like
yeah, this was great. This was the strongest match on the show.
Yeah, I have a feeling Fraxium will be playing this role for quite a while, giving us like the good match of the show. Well, which DIY and also Motor City Machine Guns and Profits have been able to provide as well. I love that they're like very serious about pushing this new tag team in Phoenix and Andrade. I think the division again is getting over because of work rate, and therefore I think Phoenix and Andrade are a very good addition because they're simply great wrestlers. I almost feel like in many ways they might be a better fit than certainly like the Gacy Loomis version of the Wyatts, but they also all offer different appeals. So yeah, I they're growing this tag division.
I too would go with Phoenix and Andrade over Loomis and Gacy.
In the Andrade and Phoenix should join the Wyatts, is what you're saying.
Oh no, I would not want to see them go that path. Damian Priest met with Aleister Black, and he tells Aleister Black that he has a match with R-Truth next week. Ron Killings has left the company, correct?
Well, he'll be back next week.
They've re-signed R-Truth. Ron Killings has left.
Yes,
that's what I mean.
Yeah, right.
That was a nice 1 week mention of Ron Killings, and
they will still refer to him occasionally as Ron Killings, but like in the same way that they may call, from time to time, but in the same way they may call. I'm trying to think what a comparison would be.
When Michael Cole calls Wade Bennett Stu once a year?
No. There are guys with multiple names on this roster, aren't there?
Phil!
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I don't know.
So anyway, they had their tension here. Some was this beta energy or was this alpha? Anyway, Priest informs Aleister Black, I'm not a good guy, and R-Truth isn't going to be the victim of your violence. And this ends in the best way possible. Damian, Black, and they leave.
This seems destined for SummerSlam, don't you think? Or TV, are we more so thinking?
I think they're going to be put into a tag team together.
Of course. Join the tag division. We got nothing else for you guys.
Yeah, this was I hope this is going somewhere. So we got Ron Killings against Aleister Black next week. The Street Profits against the Wyatt Six. They didn't promote Jelly Roll, but he was supposed to be on the show next week in Nashville.
Okay, well,
see if we get
some
angle with Jelly Roll. And then the main event, Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso against Jacob Fatu and Jimmy Uso. Wait, I said this wrong. Solo Sikoa and JC Mateo against Jacob Fatu and Jimmy Uso. So they're beating down on Jimmy until he hits a Samoan drop. In comes Fatu, and he runs wild on all of them. Handspring into a moonsault. Jimmy's in, hits 5,000 super kicks, and then dives to the floor with a suicide dive onto Sikoa. Fatu ducks a Samoan spike, hits an Impaler DDT, and the mighty moonsault, with Solo Sikoa being the one to take the fall. So babyfaces get the win. They place Solo onto the desk, and Fatu climbs to the top, but gets thrown off by Tala Tonga. And Jimmy attacks. He gets jumped from behind by Tonga Loa, and they beat the hell out of these two. There's a tour of the islands to Jimmy. Jacob is held up and hit with the Samoan spike, and then it's a big shield powerbomb to Jacob through the reinforced announce desk. And Sikoa hoists up the belt, and the MFTs reign supreme.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Fine match.
It was fine, yeah. Again, it was what is it, 8-7 minutes, Would I have felt different on a 3-hour edition of the show where this may have had, 12 minutes?
No, this might have been 3 segments.
Maybe not. But it's very clear Jacob is by far the most entertaining person in this entire story to watch in ring. I'd suggest he's probably the most entertaining Anoa'i family member to watch in ring at this present time. He almost always from the beginning wrestled a babyface style anyway. Now that he's an actual babyface, he can take that a bit further. So he continues to maintain that appeal. And you know what? I think Tala Tonga, as goofy as that name sounds, looks great here with the MFTs. And I would say the presence is certainly there.
My favorite Tongans.
Yeah. They're not all Tongans though.
Yeah. So there you go. Standing Tala at the end of SmackDown. The MFTs.
It's such a goofy name, but like, I mean, we'll get used to it.
Look, Hikuleo was, he's going to be interesting to watch because outside of the 2 dark matches he did, like he hasn't wrestled in a year, and he was coming along really nicely in that tag team with El Phantasmo. So I like the bar is not going to be as high on a weekly, TV match that he's going to have to do for SmackDown. That I think he's, at least this guy has a role now, and I think he'll do fine, like ring wise. But he basically lost a year of his career making this move to WWE, which is hard to fathom.
Well, I predict he'll be more so working WWE big man style, which like I think is just a lot more like posturing and I don't know, making sure that you're standing really tall.
I'll remember that from my rundowns. Showed great posturing and he looked really tall.
Really tall, yeah.
Yeah, great.
Slim Sieber in the chat is letting me know that Taula, Taula, happens to be his real name. So my apologies. I guess I didn't mean it sounded goofy at all. It sounded perfectly fine. That's actually a very reasonable reason why they would go with Taula, I suppose. Brian also mentions that they did mention Jelly Roll.
Did they?
The rundown. I guess I missed it.
Okay,
so
then I missed it. He's on next week in Nashville. All right. Well, any final thoughts on the 2-hour edition of SmackDown?
Again, like this feels like maybe not a fair, 2-hour show to fully assess, given just it was piggybacking off of like a live Raw. I would say it was decently satisfying for a 2-hour show. It gave you good focus on the new MFT member, gave you a name for the stable, built to Evolution in a pretty quick way, gave you some follow up to the King and Queen of the Ring wins. So they hit all their bases. Not really a show that I would say like blew me away by any means, but it was satisfying, I felt.
What do you expect next week on Raw and SmackDown when you're promoting 2 shows next weekend? Do you think that that's going to be just confusing, or do you think like it'll be fairly?
It'll be fine. Not every match is going to get representation on screen. Some of these are just going to be like, hey, this is the card that's happening. This is not unusual for them. Like they've done weekends like this.
Is Saturday night's main event going to be an all men's card?
Well, what's the card so far?
It's Rollins and LA Knight, Drew and Randy, and Goldberg and Gunther so far. So I assume we're getting at least one more match, if not 2, because I don't know how long Gunther and Goldberg really will be.
I suspect they'll add a women's match on the show. Although Evolution is just the next day. Maybe that's where the Nikki Bella match will take place.
Okay. We will say goodbye to everybody here. Make sure you like and subscribe on the video. We are here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday night after Raw, after Dynamite, and after SmackDown. It's a big week coming up. Next week, we will have a new Rewind Away. We're going to be chatting Vengeance 2005. I made a mistake when we were previewing this. Cena and Sabu was the following year. So that we will not be talking about that. But
I'll cancel the review. I'm not watching this anymore.
But I started this show today, and it features one of the most preposterous segments you could fathom on a WWE pay-per-view in 2005.
That can mean anything.
Yes,
like my imagination is going
WWE
wild.
2005 is totally off the rails. It's insane what they're doing in 2005. We'll talk all about that next week. Plus, we will have coverage on Saturday night following All in Texas. And then Sunday, we will be live here on the channel after Evolution. We'll also be punting our Saturday night's main event recap to the Sunday night. So we'll do all the WWE stuff Sunday with Evolution. So great time to be on board the Post Wrestling Cafe and here on the Post Wrestling YouTube channel that keeps running at a frenetic pace.
Jump in the cafe. We're going to continue the show reading hopefully some of your feedback if we have any of it. Let's see if we do. Yes, we do. All right. So bye-bye to our YouTubers and free feeders. Hello, all of you guys in the Post Wrestling Cafe.